Hello everyone, I'm Gwickles. Today I'll be doing a special video that was requested by one of you in which I go over some of my art supplies. I'm gonna go over pretty much, not everything that I have, but everything that I use most often and a couple of my favorite things. Obviously, I'm still at my mom's house. I'm not at my house, so I can't, hi Chloe, so I can't go over everything I have. But if you do want me to do that video that I mentioned in my vlog about all of my art supplies that I'm hoarding, more or less, then I absolutely will. And I think I'm gonna do that anyways because I need to see for myself just exactly how far I'm going with the whole hoarding business and actually using those art supplies. Usually when I make a video, I'm always sure that I leave in the description below what I've been using. If I have forgotten to do that, please tell me and I will quickly go ahead and add, but I've been really adamant about whatever I use in that video, or if I talk about something, adding it in the description so you guys can find it later. I will be sure to, for this video, try and find links for you guys so you don't have to go searching as to where I got my supplies, or if, oh, you thirsty doggies, where I got my supplies, or where you can get them, because I certainly don't like spending a lot of money on art supplies, and I know you don't either. As you can tell from most of my videos, the one thing that I'm using more than anything else, and that is my favorite right now, is the Canson Mixed Media Sketchbook. It's 7 by 10 inches, and there's 60 sheets, and it's only 98 pounds, but it's actually been taking to my watercolors really well. Even my most recent piece, in which I did Furiosa, and I just loaded this with color, but you can see the back. While it is, you know, water damaged, I do have a trick, and there's nothing that can't fix this if I press it. So the paper held up really well. It didn't damage, it didn't pull, it didn't smudge, and I just love this paper. I've been able to experiment, and just as you can see, I'm about halfway through the sketchbook. I don't think I've ever gone through a sketchbook so quickly. I just really love this. The other sketchbook I use is Moleskine, this big giant. Actually, this is just brand new. This is actually fairly new. Normally I don't get anything this big. I was really excited about the idea of getting a watercolor sketchbook because I was using a smaller Moleskine, a very small Moleskine, probably about like this size. I think it was a 5 by 7, and I was doing watercolors in it, and I'm like, I need to get a watercolor sketchbook. I have a smaller watercolor one, but I wanted a big one. I just wanted a big, huge sketchbook. And while it worked really well for wet until wet, the paper for this, it just was, I don't know if you can see, but it just, I don't know, I'm casting a shadow, but it just, I didn't appreciate how it took to my pieces. It soaked up, it soaked up the color and the pigment, and it wasn't like the smaller sketchbook or the normal Moleskine sketchbook paper. So I haven't really used this much for just crap sketching. None of these are good. I've redone him, but I think I'm going to use this for like an ink or study sketchbook. Normally I don't have anything this big. Normally, obviously, I work really small like this. I was actually working smaller than this before, but I don't think I will go above 7 by 10 or the 5 by 7, but that is all personal preference. So it's all about trying new sizes, trying new brands, and seeing what works for you. I liked the smaller Moleskine sketchbook, but I really like how the mixed media will let me hold everything up. And these stickers are Tori Ann stickers, of course, as you can see, and then Jennifer Sketches stickers, and then from Deadhead Society, my company that I have with my bestest friends in the whole world. We make a zombie themed, well, not just zombie, horror actually themed apparel and accessories. You should check us out. For watercolor paper, I actually haven't been using a whole lot of watercolor paper. I've been sticking to that sketchbook. Miguel, my friend, Miguel actually gave me this sheet, and I haven't had a chance to use this, but what I found cool is their texture is going in a completely different direction, but I do want to try the Canson watercolor paper. It's different, as you can see, as the watercolor sketchbook paper. The texture on it's different, and it's different than the Strathmore. I usually have Strathmore. I don't have that with me here, but Strathmore, this texture in there is way different. Usually I use the Bristol board, which I don't have with me right now, or vellum if I'm not using the mixed media. Okay, now we're gonna move on to things like pencils, pens, that sort of thing. As you can see, I have a very wide assortment of bags. I'm obviously in travel mode, but even when I'm not traveling, I do keep all of my pencils and pens in these bags because right now I don't really have the space to put them in, you know, fun containers or shelving like I would really want to. That's one of my goals to do for myself. When I, cross your fingers, get this job that I'm waiting to hear back from and get my own apartment, I'm gonna make an art room and I'm gonna get cool containers and shelves for my art and stuff. But for now, I just have these bags I got. I just get things that make me happy. The things that make me happy, you know, I just am always shamelessly getting whatever's gonna put a smile on my face. I like to surround myself with. It just helps keep you inspired. It keeps you happy, and why not, you know? Why not? I got these from Forever 21 with some gift cards, but these were really cheap. I think they're supposed to be makeup bags or for whatever you want. And here I carry my brushes. I know you're supposed to have like a special brush case for your brushes, but I cannot afford that yet, and I'm really cheap and I don't. Along with my brushes, I'll usually carry whatever my favorite pencil to use at that time is, just to keep everything together, but that goes with my pencils. The brushes that I have are a varied assortment, as I've said in my videos in the past, but the ones that I, the ones that I use the most are from a company called Utrecht, and they were like the local art store company that was by the school that I went to, and their brand stuff was just really reliable, and I like them a lot. They weren't, you know, a pocket rape, and they've been treating me really well. I will put a link in the description to their online store. They're kind of like a Jerry's Artorama, kind of like a Dick Blick. As a matter of fact, I think Dick Blick just bought Utrecht, if I'm not mistaken. In this bag, I also have my erasers. Now I have two kinds of erasers. I have what's called a kneaded eraser, which looks like it's almost weird Play-Doh, and it's weird, and you can rip it apart and form it and meld it, but that's the point. Like if you want to get into a small area and erase it, just a little area, erase it or roll it or whatever you want to do, this is the perfect eraser for pretty much all of your uses. You can lightly lift graphite off your paper, you can erase hard, and it's not going to ruin your paper. It's going to help you out. It's going to really be your best friend. Oh, if you don't drop it on the floor. The one thing that sucks is keeping it clean. You'll notice there's a lot of pencil shavings and hair from me dropping it on the floor. These, I do have these just in case. These are, you know, typical white erasers, but the only problem with these is they will ruin your paper. You'll go to erase, and the heat from the friction caused by you rubbing your paper will typically tear the paper, it'll ruin your drawing, whatever you've got going on. So more often than not, I really don't prefer to use these, but I do have them. And here I also have one of those, you know, fancy smancy watercolor brushes where you can put the water in this tube and you don't have to worry about reapplying. I bought it just to try it out, and I really didn't care for it. I thought it was kind of cheating. I don't know. I'm really weird. It's one of the quirks that I have. I did fill it with, for Inktober, I filled it with ink so I could do some ink washes with it, and that was really helpful. Maybe I'll do a video experimenting with that and watercoloring with this if you guys would like to see it. Maybe, you know, I should give it another chance and do some more practice with it. You never know. And here I also have my brush pens. They're like the 5 that come in the Jet Pens pack. Oh, here is my other ones. But yeah, these are the 5 that come in the brush pen pack for Jet Pens. I will leave a link to the pack that I got, but it's the Pentel brush pen and then the pocket brush, which are my favorite, which are the ones I've been using. And then the Zebra, the Tombow, and the Kuretake. They're all really good brushes. I love them all. So I go back and forth between saying which one's my favorite and which one is not. They're so awesome. I just, can't say enough. I also have 2 of these. There's one right here. Jelly Roll, Sakura Jelly Roll gel pens for going over the outline. I have a love-hate relationship with these. Sometimes they work really well, and sometimes they work like poop. The Uniball pen that Tori and a couple of other artists I've seen using seems to be doing a better job, so I might have to suck it up, and I couldn't find it where I was, but that's no excuse. I should go and look for that. But these I got from Michael's, so, but you can probably find them cheaper elsewhere. But in this carrying case is just where I carry all of my immediate direct go-to stuff. In the Pastel Shark Love Bites case, we have all of my Prismacolor color pencils. Now, these have been spreading like rapid fire amongst artists. I don't know if it's just because I've started using them that I noticed that they've spread, or people have just using them for a while, but Torianne, my good friend, or Juicy Ink on Tumblr, she recommended these to me when she still lived right across the street, and I miss her so much. But she recommended these to me, and I used to not like colored pencils at all. I actually have a set of the normal Prismacolor pencils, but these are the Kohl Erase ones, and I've fallen in love, and I will never go back. Whether it be for sketching, whether it be for actually incorporating them into your piece, whatever you want to do with these, they are so amazing. Paint and Copics and just any of those things that you want to use with them, they just blend so beautifully. And as you can see, a lot of the kind of fugly colors are left. The ones that I like using the most are kind of gone. But what's cool about these is you can actually, if you have a favorite color, you can get a box of that color specifically on Amazon, which I will link below. In the cute little hoo-hoo owl bag that my mother got me, I just have an assortment of all of my other pens and an Exacto knife, which should be capped, because if it's not, I'm gonna reach in here and I'm gonna cut myself, and I'm sure everybody's done that. But this is an Exacto knife. I have a bunch of these. Every artist or, you know, creative person should probably have one. It's for making like fine, precise cuts on your prints, your work, anything that you need it for. They come with, you unhook it right here, not unhook, unscrew it right here, and the blades pop in and out, and you can buy new blades and then replace it when the blade dulls. It's a knife. It's a little precise cutting knife. It's really cool. I have a bunch of Sharpies. I like writing things in Sharpies, little notes to remind myself. I have a couple of these. I have mechanical pencils. I used to exclusively draw in mechanical pencils because I really like. If I'm not using a Kohl Erase pencil, then I'm using a mechanical pencil. I also bought these cheaper little Papermate Inkjoy pens because I wanted to experiment with them. I saw another artist on Tumblr using them, but unfortunately there's not a whole lot of varied colors. And they smear, and they're like typical ball ink pens, but they're still colorful and fun for like writing notes and stuff with. I have a couple of Faber-Castell Pitt Artist pens. I was using these brush pens before, but the only problem is after a while, the tips, I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow at 9:30. The point of these is unfortunately the nibs wear down. So your point fades away, and it sucks because these pens are awesome. These brush pens are awesome. I was in love with these first before I switched over to the ones from Jet Pens, and they come in a variation of colors, and I was using these exclusively, but the foamy tips of the pen, it just fades away and you lose your tapering line, and it's almost a waste of money if the tip is gonna run out and it becomes useless. I also carry in here the tubes of my watercolor. So just like with my brushes, I have watercolor, Utrecht watercolors. I've had most of these, the ones in these tubes, since I started college. So that's probably around 4 or 5 years ago. And you know, they were 99 cents back then. I don't even know if you can find these in these tubes anymore, or if they exclusively just come in these tubes now. But now they're like $5 or $7, and then they were like 99 cents. And I mean, this is 99 cents, and that's how long it's lasted me. And this is $5 or whatever else, so you figure how long that's gonna last me. And they work really great. I like those. I also have a couple of, if I'm not using Utrecht watercolors, let me find it. I should have found it first. I have a couple of Winsor & Newton. I have very few Winsor & Newton paints. They're very, very good paints, and Winsor & Newton they're kind of like the Louis Vuitton of art supplies. And I know a lot of artists use them, but I can't afford to spend that much money on a tube. But they're very similar, obviously, to the Utrecht tube, only this is their Cotman brand, so I think this is like their cheaper brand. I get these when these are on sale, and they'll come and they'll be like the exact same price as these. So if you can find the Winsor & Newton Cotman colors, they'll be just as good as the normal ones, and they'll be the price of the Utrecht prices. So if you want Winsor & Newton and you see the Cotmans on sale, they are just as good and they're fantastic, so definitely get them if they're on sale. And as you just saw in my latest tutorial, I've also on and off been working with the Stadler Fineliners. I still want to find a working style to incorporate these into some of my pieces with, but these are awesome. I really like these. They work really well. Their colors are bright. The line is fine, just as advertised with the Fineliners. I only wish that I could line with them beforehand, like you could the Micron, and that's the only difference. Which I do have some, I don't know if you saw in my mess, I do have a bit of Micron, a fair bit of Microns, and these are more or less the same as the Fineliners. They have like the same nib. This one's really tiny. This is the 0.005, but as I said in the Stadler tutorial, these are much more expensive. However, you can line with these and then do your watercolor drawing after. Hi Chloe, are you part of the video now? Are you just showcasing yourself? Don't worry guys, she's not as vicious as she looks. She won't sabotage the video. I had these in a, enumeration of colors, but in comparison to the Stadlers, the Stadlers, I don't know why I'm calling them Stadlers. The Stadler. In comparison to the Stadlers, these are brighter, but these will not smudge or smear with the water. You have to do these after your watercolors or Copics or whatever it is you're using. These you can do before or after, so pick and choose. And these are brighter. Pros, cons, you can always do both. A more recent tool that I've picked up, also because of Tori, gosh, I feel like I've taken all my ideas and stuff from Tori. No, she's just a fantastic artist and she has a lot of great suggestions. Is these the things. These are thingy things. I can't believe I forgot. How is this even happening? I'm such a silly. These are freaking, you clean your air with these. You clean your air with these. The train has left the station. My train, the theoretical train that's inside my head running my brain right now, it's left the station. And I completely forgot that these are called Q-tips. I use Q-tips and I use them to pick up water, smear it, move it, or to blend out the Prismacolor pencils. These are awesome. And I remember when I was oil painting, in oil painting you can also use them to scoop up some of the linseed oil and rub out mistakes if you're an oil painter as well. These are also very, very useful. And finally, we have the little bitties that are left that I use. This is my watercolor tray. It's a big one, the one that I have a love-hate relationship with. It's very huge, but it allows me to hold a multitude of colors at one point, and it gives me a large space, as you can see, for mixing. But the only issue is it's obviously very big. It weighs nothing, next to nothing. It's made out of plastic. So even a smaller tray, like a travel size, I do have a travel one for smaller just space to put in here, but I don't have the travel one with me. I actually have two of these because my old roommate didn't want hers, so it works out. I kind of have a lot. I bought these Grumbacher travel watercolors to just test them out because I got sick and tired of my small normal travel one that I put my tube watercolors in. I didn't like what was in the case, and I just wanted to try and see these out because these, it looks like almost sketchy, right? It kind of looks like the case of watercolors that you're gonna get at preschool, and it doesn't look like it's gonna do you any good. But these colors are actually very luminescent, and I don't know if you've seen, but I will actually refer to them sometimes if I want a specific color in my painting or in one of my video. I'll switch out between my big palette and this because the colors are really bright. I think specifically for like this red or this yellow, but this is just, they actually have you can take these out and move them and rearrange them any way you wish. And they have a 24 pack as well. I just got the small pack because I wasn't sure. And this is their transparent. Apparently there's an opaque one, and believe it or not, I actually ordered the opaque one and they gave me this one instead, but I am non-confrontational, so I just took it. But you shouldn't do that. You should complain and get the one you're supposed to get. But hey, it worked out anyways, yay! But they have two options. They have a transparent and an opaque set, and these are actually pretty darned opaque. So the actual opaque ones may be worth a shot at looking at if that's what you're really going for. But these work well. I'll leave a link in the description of where to get these and how much they were. They were pretty cheap. These are metallic watercolors. So cool, right, bro? Oh my god. I got these back in college when one of my roommates was actually working at Michael's, and she found some and got them for my other roommate, her girlfriend. And Leanne, she actually does watercolors too and markers, and oh my gosh, I was like, I saw what she was doing, I'm like, I have to get it. They're actually, you know, metallic, but the only problem is, as I'm sure you can guess, is there's really no pigment. It's kind of like just glitter. You add the water in there and there's literally no wash. It kind of is just like working with colored glitter. I actually used this on like an Iron Man piece one just to, you know, experiment with, and I also did like a Lady Gaga mermaid, and it actually came out really well. But these are fun. They're not a lot of money. I got them at Michael's. I don't know if they're still available, but I will look and see if I can put them in the description. I got them on sale and they weren't that much money, and they're cool for fun, like little projects if you want to add just like a little something else, a little glitter. This is, you know, a mason jar. This is typically what I put my water in. While I'm at my mom's, she has a bunch of these and I kind of just want to take it, but I'm not a thief. But this is perfect for putting your water in. You can clearly see there's not going to be anything that dilutes or messes with your water that you're using to put on your piece. You can clearly see if your water's getting dirty because you need to change your water constantly. Don't paint with dirty water. Don't be lazy. But if you have a clear plastic throwaway cup, that's fine, but these are cool because we're not creating garbage or wasting. And then I have scrap pieces of paper, watercolor paper, vellum that, you know, I'm testing as I go along. I test to see how the color is going to come out on top of each other, the colored pencil, to wipe excess of the jelly roll on, and even doodle little ideas of what I'm going to do. So that is it. So that's pretty much all of the supplies that I use on a day-to-day basis for any of the things I've been experimenting more recently with, or everything that I've been doing for a very long time. There's a sleeping puppy, but she's ignoring us, so it's okay. If you like this video, please let me know. If you'd like to see any others, if you'd like to see my awful stash of art compulsive hoarding supplies that I don't use on a regular basis, which I think I'm gonna make anyways. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this is what whomever requested it was looking for when they're requesting it, and I hope I did a good job. I'm sorry, you know, I don't have the best of scenarios to work with, but doing what I can. And if you like this video, maybe you will like a video that is also dog-shaped. Maybe not, you know, dog-shaped, but I'm gonna put a link on my dog, because I do that. Phoebe, do you mind if a link goes on you? Phoebe. Thank you guys so much. Bye-bye.